Hi everyone, it's that time again when you might be starting to think about your year end. The year end process itself is straightforward. It's a simple wizard that includes a few options. However, before this, there's the preparation stage, ensuring you've posted everything, and of course, it involves running reports. But do you understand your reports and also the opportunities that you have to develop them? Ensuring they're accurate, but also that they provide you with the correct level of detail. Throughout January and February, we're running a series of live webinars to help develop your knowledge and understanding of the management reports available in Sage 50 accounts. We'll be starting with the basics, understanding nominal records and the structure of the nominal ledger. This is also ideal if you need to create new nominal codes. Following on from this, we'll examine the chart of accounts, looking at all aspects, including adding new layouts and editing existing ones. Our attention then turns to the management reports themselves, the trial balance, the profit and loss, and of course the balance sheet. We'll explain how to run them, what they show, and most importantly, how the figures calculate. We want you to be confident. On the management report session, one of the most common scenarios we're asked about is where you haven't yet run your year end, but need to generate a profit and loss report for your next financial year. We've got your back with this and have a specific webinar that explores the options you have available, whether it's running reports for your new financial year or even a previous one. The last webinar in the series looks at reconciling your age debtors and age creditor reports at year end, ensuring that the balances agree with the figures on your trial balance and the balance sheet. Of course, this could be done at any time, such as part of your month-end process. So come along and we'll demonstrate what to check and how to run them to ensure everything agrees. If you'd like to attend any or all of these sessions to help develop your knowledge and boost your confidence, then simply head along to sage.co.uk/webinars and register for your free place. These, along with loads of other topics, including how to run your year end, are available. See you soon.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Michael. I'm going to be the presenter for this afternoon's session. So it's our quiz session, just to test your knowledge on the back of the Corrections 2025 webinar series. So the sessions that you've been attending over either this month or possibly throughout December as well. So good opportunity to see where you're at with your knowledge. What information have you retained, and what do you need to revisit any of those sessions? Remember, the recordings are available should you need to do so. Now, just a little bit of housekeeping before we get stuck into the quiz today. As normal, you don't need a microphone for the session. If you've got one, it will be muted. It'll be done automatically for you. You can't unmute yourself. If you do have any questions along the way or comments along the way, then you're more than welcome to pop them into the questions panel. We don't normally get many comments or questions during the quiz sessions. The questions are for you. As normal, the session is being recorded though, so if you do want to have a little bit of recap after we've finished, just watch out for your follow-up email, and it will include a link to today's recording. We'll also include a link to our upcoming webinars, so you can get onto the registration page. So some of those sessions that were just mentioned in that little video that we played at the beginning there, covering management reports. We're also running some sessions related to year end and also clearing records as well. So they're all on there. You can get signed up for them now if you are interested. The follow-up email will also include a link to our recordings page. So if there's any sessions you have missed, that's where you'll find them. Now, for the webinar series, what we've been doing, we've been running 4 different topics. So looking at corrections for customers and suppliers. Abby ran you through bank payments, receipts, and bank transfers. So if you make a mistake, what options have you got? I took you through journals, and then Matt took you through the implications on the VAT side. So when you make corrections, how that impacts on what the effects are if the transaction is VAT reconciled or not, showing you how it will automatically adjust the VAT return next time round if necessary. Now, if you've attended at least 3 of those 4 topics, plus today's quiz session, we've also repeating the quiz session next week, then you will earn the digital badge, and that will be sent out towards the end of next week. If you haven't yet registered, if you do want to register for the additional quiz session, or maybe your colleague wants to register, do share that link with them. So the link is on the obviously the handout if you download that. So what's covered in today's quiz? Well, we're basically covering we've got a round for each of the topics that we have covered in the series. So 4 questions on each of those different topic webinars. We've got one final round, and then just mention a little bit about further support, and obviously if there are any outstanding questions at the end as well, we can maybe pick those up as well. Now, if it's your first quiz with us, how it's going to work today, we'll be using the poll facility. So remember, it is just an opportunity to test your knowledge. There's no pass mark on this one. It's just a case of taking part, testing your knowledge, and again, seeing if there's any areas where maybe you need to just top up your knowledge a little bit. So we've got those multiple rounds. We're using the poll facility. You'll see a poll similar to what we've got on the screen there. So you'll be able to choose maybe one answer. Some of them will be maybe multiple answers. Just a case of you then clicking submit once you've chosen your options. So we'll run through each of the rounds, answering the 4 questions. We'll then run through the answers to that round, and obviously we'll continue through the quiz at that point. So remember, just keep your own score. The results themselves, they're not marked, so keep your own score, and we'll ask about that at the end to see how you got on. So good luck. Let's get stuck in. We're going to start with round 1. So we'll pop the first poll on your screen there. Should appear any moment. So your first question, if you don't mind getting involved, obviously, choose an answer. Remember to click submit. So if you edit a critical field in a transaction, what is the impact? Is it A, the original transaction is amended with no additional posting? Or is it B, the original transaction is cancelled and a new one posted? If you're not sure, you've got a 50-50 chance anyway. So take an educated guess. Which do you think it would be? Is it the original transaction is amended with no additional posting, or is it the original transaction is cancelled and a new one posted? What I'll normally do, I just wait till I get a really good percentage of you voting for that one. I'll not wait till everyone answers that, but we'll just close the poll. I'll share the results with you just so you can see what people have voted for. So everyone's gone for option B. Excellent. So we'll move on. We'll come back to the answers in a few minutes. So question 2. What does update ledgers do? Does it A, allow you to print an invoice? Or is it B, updates your stock and your customer ledgers? So what does the update ledgers option do? See the answers flooding through. Excellent. So we'll close that one. Again, share the results. So everyone again gone for option B. We'll see how we get on in just a few minutes. Question 3. I have posted a purchase invoice and it has been paid with a purchase payment. How do I reverse this manually? Is it A, you post a credit note? Or is it B, you post a credit note and a refund? So if you do that manually, that correction, what would you actually post to correct that in your software? Again, the vote's flooding through there, so I'll just wait till I get about 80% of you having voted for that one. Remember, when you choose your answers, click submit. It'll just lock in the answers for you. Great. Okay. Again, just quickly share the results with you. So we had a bit of a split this time. So 11% of you going for option A, post a credit note, and the rest of you, the majority, going for option B, post a credit note and a refund. So final question of round one. Find the right button, there we go. So question 4, I have incorrectly matched a sales credit to a sales invoice. What's the easiest way to fix this? Is it A, click unallocate, or is it B, delete both transactions? Again, sometimes you can have an educated guess at some of these questions. If you use Sage for a while, obviously you stand more chance. Right, let's quickly share the results with you, and then we'll get into some of the answers. So everyone going for option A in this instance. Right. So again, remember to keep your own score. We'll run through the answers to the first 4 questions. So question 1, if you edit a critical field in a transaction, what is the impact? Well, it's option B. The original transaction is cancelled and a new one posted. It can be as well, depending on the status of the transaction of those two. It can be that the original transaction is updated and a copy of the original transaction is posted to the end of the audit trail. Depends on the scenario. But the only time you would only time it would relate in option A or result in option A, where the original transaction is amended with no additional posting, is if you amend what you would term a non-critical field. So remember, the non-critical fields are things like the text-based fields. So reference, extra reference, details, and the description. Everything else pretty much regarded as being a critical field. So things like dates, values, nominal codes, tax codes. So well done if you got that one. I think everyone got that one right. Question 2, what does update ledgers do? Well, it updates your stock if it's a product invoice, and also the customer's ledger. So it essentially commits your invoice into your accounts. It updates things like your nominal ledger. That invoice would appear against the customer's account on the activity. And if it is a product invoice, obviously it would adjust your stock levels accordingly as well. Question 3, I've posted a purchase invoice and it has been paid with a purchase payment. How do I reverse this manually? So there are automatic options for that one. You could work through the wizard. But the option, or the correct answer from these two, is option B. You would post a credit note. Credit note would cancel the effects of the original purchase invoice. And then you would post a refund, which would reverse the effects of the purchase payment. So essentially show that money coming back into your relevant bank account. Obviously, those two transactions can be allocated as well. As long as you do the credit note first, then when you post the refund, you can say, right, I want to refund this credit. So you're essentially allocating that refund against that credit at the time. Just save you a little step. And then question 4, final question in this round. I've incorrectly matched sales credit to a sales invoice. What's the easiest way to fix this? Click the unallocate option. You could delete one of the transactions that would achieve it, re-enter that transaction, but the easiest option, just unallocate them. And then if needed, you can reallocate that credit to a different invoice. Okay, so that completes round 1. Let's get cracking with round 2. So round 2 is to do with your bank corrections. So the session that Abby covered. So first question in this round, question 5. What happens if you edit the reference on a bank payment? The reference field. Is it A, you can't? We can't edit that. Is it B, it deletes the transaction? Or is it C, it updates the transaction? Again, you've probably found as well from these sessions when you've been attending, there's quite a bit of crossover from these sessions as well. Always depends on what you're editing, what changes you're making as to what the outcome is. Yeah, loads of answers coming through really quickly there. Thanks for that. Just means we can get through the session a little bit quicker as well, potentially. So choose your answers, click submit, and then once we've got a decent percentage of voting, we'll close the session, that's particular poll down, which I'll do now, and then I can share the results with you. So everyone going for option C updates the transaction. Question 6. So question 6 is, you can edit a bank reconciled transaction. Is that true or false? So once it's been reconciled, you've agreed it, it's appeared in your bank reconciliation, you've ticked it, you've flagged it. Can you still edit that transaction? Is that true or false? Yeah, that's brilliant. Most of you've chosen your options. Share the results with you again. So majority have gone for true. You can edit a bank reconcile transaction, and about 14% of you going for false. You can't. Again, we'll run through the 4 questions in this round, and then we'll share the results with you. Right, question 7. So question 7 is, you've selected the wrong bank account on a bank transfer. Which option is best? How do we go about correcting that? So we just edit the account. Would you delete it and repost it? So removing the transfer, or would you choose option C, reverse the original transaction? If you're doing it manually, would you post another journal to reverse the effects of the original transfer? So A, B, or C. Again, with corrections and accounts, you've sometimes got a number of options, but which option is maybe the simplest, or which is the easiest for you? Sometimes it's just a case of which is the quickest for you as well. But again, it's these things you need to think about. Do you need that full traceability? Are you quite happy to remove something? Do you need to have that traceability? Do you need to manually reverse it? Which period does it fall in? That type of thing. Just share those results with you as well. So quite a split on this one. So 60% of you going, or 61% of you, sorry, going for edit the account. 9% of you going for delete and repost, and then 30% of you going for option C, reverse the original transaction. One more question in this round, and then we'll go through some answers. Now, this is an interesting one, something you may or may not have come across in your software. So in Sage 50 accounts, what does CP stand for? When you're looking at your transactions, you're looking in the transactions list and you see the transaction type, what does CP stand for? Is it a customer payment, card payment, credit payment, or a cash payment? Obviously, this may vary as well if you know this or not. It depends what areas of the software you use to a certain extent, but have you actually seen one in the first place? What does CP stand for? Customer payment, card payment, credit payment, or cash payment? Brilliant. Okay, so as you can see, we've got quite a divide on that one. So majority going for option D, cash payment. Right. So that was the 4 questions for round 2. Let's have a look at the answers. So question 5, what happens if you edit the reference on a bank payment? Well, simply updates the original transaction. So remember what I was just saying a moment ago is there's a difference between critical and what we term non-critical fields. Now, the reference is a text-based field, so it's classed as being a non-critical field, so you can make whatever changes you want to that one. So it just updates the original transaction when you save those changes. Question 6, you can edit a bank reconcile transaction. It's true, you can. Again, you can make whatever changes you want. Included in that is the bank reconciliation flag. So when you edit that bank reconcile transaction, there'll be a little tick and a date when it was reconciled up to. So essentially when your reconciliation ran up to when you reconciled it. So you can adjust that accordingly if needed. Question 7, you selected the wrong bank account on a bank transfer. Which option is best? It's first option, edit the account. So when you post a bank transfer, it will post as a journal. What you'll be able to do is edit the journal or the bank transfer. It will bring that back up within the transfer window, and you'll be able to make whatever changes you need. So nice and easy these days. Historically, you may have had to do that just manually, but these days you can just edit the account. So if you posted it from one account to another, and maybe it's gone to, I don't know, a deposit account rather than your cash account, for instance, you can easily amend that just by editing the transfer. Makes it really flexible these days. And then the final question in this round, what does CP stand for? It is cash payment. Now you'll only see a CP transaction when you go into the bank accounts area. You select an account which is specifically flagged as a cash account. So a bank record flagged as a cash account. There's 3 types it can be. So you'll have a current account, Visa account, and a cash account. So if you use the bank payment option to make a payment from a cash account, it will actually show that as a CP. Something to be aware of if you're running reports and you're filtering on specific transaction types. So answer D was the correct one there. So I hope you're doing well so far. Right, moving on to round 3. So round 3 is all to do with correcting journals. So this was the session I ran. So we'll launch that one for you. So question 9, you've posted a duplicate journal. What's the best option? Do you manually reverse it? Do you, option B, delete it? Or is it C, edit it? So it's a duplicate journal. What's the best option? A, B, or C? Again, remember, as I mentioned in accounts, there's often more than one way to sort of post that correction. It depends on what you want the outcome to be. What do you want it to look like? But in this instance, what's the best option? Again, share the results. So 13% of you going for option A, manually reverse it. 83% going for option B, delete it. And a few of you going for option C, edit it. On to question 10. So question 10, where is the default tax code setting for journals located? Is it within A, settings, and then bank defaults? Is it B, settings, company preferences, and then the VAT tab? Or is it C, settings, configuration, and then tax codes? So when you go to post a journal entry, you're probably aware it will pick up a default tax code on that journal. Where is it? What dictates what nominal code? Where is that setting held? Not the nominal code, the tax code, sorry. Where is that setting held that says it needs to use this tax code? You can still override it, but where is that setting held? A bit trickier than some of the other questions, this one. It's always interesting watching the voting coming in as you submit your answers, and you can see I can see the percentages changing. Excellent. So just quickly share that one. Good divide this time. So 36% of you going for settings, company preferences, VAT, and 64% of you going for settings, configuration, and then tax codes. Right, on to question 11. Question 11, which of these journals can't be deleted? Is it A, imported journals, B, bank transfers, C, system generated year-end journals, or is it D, manually entered journals? So which of those types of journals can't be deleted? So imported journals, bank transfers, system generated, such as year-end journals, or is it journals that you manually enter? So on that session, who was paying attention? Or did you miss that session and you've just had a bit of a stab in the dark at it? Votes coming through quickly. Right, I'll close that one. I should quickly share what people have chosen. 16% of you going for imported journals, no one going for bank transfers or manually entered journals. I think the bank transfer bit, we're probably just giving that away. But 84% of you going for the system generated year-end journals. I'm sure there are other system generated journals as well, prepayments, accruals, that type of thing. And then the final question in this round, question 12. So question 12, how can you hide deleted journals from the transactions ledger? So specifically it's the transactions ledger. So if you delete a journal, it would appear in red. So how can you hide them from that transactions list? Is it A, switch on the hide deleted transactions option? Is it B, apply a filter? Or is it C, you can't? So which do you think? Again, I'm getting quite a divide on this one. Brilliant. Okay, so we'll just close that one. Share the results with you. Again, you can see we've got a good divide on that one. So about a third of you going for option A, switch on hide deleted transactions. Just over half of you going for apply a filter. And 13% of you going saying you can't hide transactions from that transactions ledger. Right, let's hide that poll or those answers, and we'll run through the answers to round 3. So question 9, you've posted a duplicate journal. What's the best option? Easiest option, simplest option, just delete it. So the clue there is it's a duplicate journal. So you've entered something in error, essentially. So the easiest option, just delete it. You could manually reverse it, but it means that you're going to have to post another journal to do that. So you could delete it. You could have also used the journal reversal option as well, if you're familiar with that one. So within nominal codes, you've got the journal reversal. You can just see, right, the journal's on this date. You select the part of the journal that's essentially the duplicate, and then you can reverse it. So if you wanted to do it manually, that would be a little bit quicker than sitting there keying in the journal, but simplest option, definitely just delete it. It's been done in error. Question 10, where is the default tax code for journals located? It's within company preferences and VAT. Now, I'll quickly share my screen and I'll show you this one. Let's find Sage. There we go. So basically, if you went into settings and company preferences, and then on the VAT tab, you've got this setting here, this non-vatable tax code. So that's where it picks it up from. So your tax codes themselves are held within settings, configuration, and the tax codes tab. But this is where the journals are going to look to see what's your non-vatable tax code, which of them is it? So this is where you'd sort of specify that. It's also used if you're on things like the, let's say the standard VAT scheme. So when you post a customer receipt or a supplier payment, we'll also look at this as to which tax code it should use for those transactions. So the majority of journals that you do post, yes, there will be the odd exception, but the vast majority of journals that you post, bank transfers, salary payments, that type of thing, or just literally journals to transfer balances between nominal codes, they'll be classed as being non-vatable. You don't want them to be picked up on a VAT return. So that's where it's picked up from. So if you're going into journals, if I just change that for a moment, so let's set it to T3 as an example. So if you're going into nominal codes and then journal entry, as you start entering a transaction, you should find it picks up the relevant tax code, and that's where it's picking that up from. So just to avoid any confusion on any future webinars I do, I'll just change that back. So settings, company preferences, onto the VAT tab, and then I'm just going to set that back. Now, if yours isn't set to T9, it means it's been changed at some point. So at some point, someone's gone in there and they've changed it to something else. Sometimes find that when maybe people change VAT schemes, or for whatever reason they've gone in and think, oh, actually, I'm going to set that to T0. Or I suppose that's the other common one, having that set to T0. But that's where it picks it up from. So do check your setting if you are in any doubt. Right, so well done if you got that one. I think that was the first one where we've had a really good divide on the answers there. Right, on to question 11. Which of these journals can't be deleted? So this changed in, I wouldn't say recent versions, but I suppose in the life of Sage 50, it feels fairly recent. So you can now only not delete system-generated journals. So things like year-end, if anyone uses the prepayments option or accruals option, if you're using the professional version, or if you use fixed assets and you post depreciation as part of the month-end process, again, that would be a system-generated journal. Also, if anyone uses nominal link, I think that was mentioned when we ran through this session. Nominal link, because of the way it posts the information into Sage Accounts, it means that you can't edit those or delete those journals either. Imported journals you can, bank transfers you can, and of course manually entered journals, again you've got that flexibility to edit or delete them. Makes it much easier these days. Final question of round 3 was, how can you hide deleted journals from the transactions ledger? So again, there was a bit of a divide on this one. So 33% of you going for the option to switch on the option to hide deleted transactions. Just over half of you went to apply a filter, and then it's about 13% of you went for the option saying that you can't. So the correct answer is B. You can hide them, so you can filter them from your list. So those journals that appear in red, potentially you'd apply a filter, and it would hide them in the background. You can always remove that filter to redisplay them, so they're just hidden from your standard list. The hide deleted transactions, just to clear that one up. So if I again quickly pop back to my screen. So the hide deleted transactions option was settings, company preferences. And then on the parameters tab, you've got this little option here, exclude deleted transactions. So that one being switched on, what that will do, any deletions that will be hidden from your activity windows only. So if it's a customer transaction which has been deleted, that by default, you would normally expect to see them in red listed on your activity, or your supplier activity, your normal activity, your bank activity. If you switch that on, it would hide any deletions. So those transactions that appear in red, it would hide them from that activity. So you're not going to get confused. So if you're looking at a list of your activity list and you think, right, I'll send that to Excel, it doesn't transfer the information in sort of different colors. It would just transfer the information across. All your transactions, whether they're deleted or not, would then appear in black. So excluding deleted transactions, it should be switched on by default. But what it doesn't do is it doesn't hide any deletions from the transactions list itself. So you would need to apply a filter if you want to hide them from there. The reason it just doesn't just hide them automatically is that they are there for audit purposes. So that completes round 3. We'll move on to round 4. Final 4 questions. So question 13, pop that one on your screen. If a VAT return has already been reconciled, you can simply edit the transactions, including that return, to correct errors. Is that true or is it false? So again, I'll just wait till I get a good percentage of having voted. Big divide on this one as well. Oh, right, we've got about 80% of you having voted there. So I'll quickly share the results with you. You can see not that far off, a nice even split. So 42% of you saying option A true, and the rest of you, 58% of you going for option B false. Question 14. If you need to correct a VAT transaction that was not yet reconciled, what is the recommended approach? Is it A, edit the transaction directly to update the VAT details? B, delete the transaction and re-enter it from scratch? Or C, reverse the transaction? So would you edit it, delete it, or reverse it? Right, I think everyone jumped on that one. So we'll just quickly share the results with you. Everyone's gone for option A. So we'll hide those results and quickly move on to question 15. Question 15. When viewing transactions dated before the current VAT period, what should you check before deciding to include them? So when you're running the VAT return and it recognizes some late entries, and it will list them for you, what should you check before deciding whether you should include them or ignore them? Is it A, whether the transaction date is correct? Is it B, whether the transaction is a genuine late entry? Or is it C, all of the above? Right, okay. Just about 83% of you voting there. So we'll share the results. As you can see, everyone's gone for option C, all of the above. If that's the case, we'll hide the results there and we'll move on to our final question in the quiz. Pop that one on your screen for you. So question 16, if you reverse a reconciled transaction, the reversal itself will automatically be included in the next VAT return. Is that true or false? So if you reverse a reconciled transaction, the reversal itself will automatically be included in the next VAT return. True or false? Again, a bit of a split on this one. I'll quickly share the results with you, and then we'll run through the answers to that final round. So 69% of you going for true, and 31% of you saying false. Right, let's go run through those final four answers. Right, so question 13, if a VAT return has already been reconciled, you can simply edit the transactions including in that return to correct errors. So the answer to that one is false, you can't. So this is one of the key things in Sage. It depends on when it comes to correcting transactions, it'll depend on the VAT reconciliation status as to what you can and can't do with that. So again, it's essentially, it's almost like it's locked the transaction. You've agreed with it. You've submitted the VAT element. It's been included on a VAT return. So that's the key with that one. Question 14. If you need to correct a VAT transaction that was not yet reconciled, what is the recommended approach? Answer to that one is A, edit the transaction directly to update the VAT details. So no need to delete the transaction. So you just need to correct it. You can just amend it. And obviously you don't need to reverse it either. So easiest option, recommended option, just select the transaction, click the edit option, make whatever changes you want. And again, that wouldn't matter at that point with it not being VAT reconciled. It wouldn't matter whether you edit what we term the critical field, so things like dates, nominal codes, values, or whether it's a non-critical field, those text-based fields. It will update the original transaction and then pop a copy of that onto the end of your audit trail for you. So again, well done if you got that one. I think everyone got that one. Question 15, when varying transactions dated before the current VAT period, what should you check before deciding whether to include them? Well, basically, you want to check everything about that transaction. Is it a genuine transaction? Should it have been entered? Should it have been entered with that date in the first place? Is it like this time of year where you've come back to work after Christmas and everyone's still in the habit of keying in 2025 as the year rather than 2026? So is that something that catches people out? So yeah, you want to see, well, is the transaction correct, that date? Is the transaction accurate? Is it a genuine late entry? So did it just miss that previous VAT return wasn't entered in time? You probably come across them quite regularly. So option C, all of the above. And then that final question, if you reverse a reconciled transaction, the reversal itself will automatically be included in the next VAT return. So yes, it will. So answer true. So that sort of completes the quiz, but on the quiz, we always like to throw in a final round. So the final round is going to be an anagram. I'll get you involved here. So you will submit your answers via the questions panel. So the one that looks like the speech bubble on your toolbar. If you open that now, it means you'll have access to the box in the bottom right-hand corner, and that's where I want you to type your answer in. So it's a bit of an anagram. We'll go fastest finger first. So anagram this time, we've got a clue. This was designed by Matt, who obviously was running the VAT sessions. So anagram 1, and it relates to something obviously we've been running in the sessions. So anagram of accident lover, the clue is irreversibly considered. What is accident lover? What's an anagram of? See if anyone gets this one. There's a few struggling in the office when we tested this one. Oh, Laura, you were straight in there. Do you attend the quiz? Oh, Jackie, you're in there as well. Correct. I'll just give a few more seconds. Just give a few others to maybe type in their answer. I think if you spot the starting point there, you'll pick up the rest of it quite quickly. Right, let's show you the answer to that one. Sue, you've got that one as well, just in time before I reveal the answer there. So it is VAT reconciled. So well done if you got that one. Lena, no, it was an anagram of those letters, so it wasn't critical. There's all the letters in there for that one. Actually, they are. You're well done, but no, it's not an anagram. You need to use all the letters. Right, next one. We'll do a second anagram. We've got a little bit of time. So this one is circled inflation. The clue that Matt would give you is consider this before. Circled inflation. So what's that an anagram of? And the clue is, Alina was quite close with the previous guess. I'll give you that extra clue. See if anyone gets this one. All right, I'll give you another 20 seconds or so, just to see if anyone can come up with that one. Sue, you say failed correction? No. I had to check there to see if I could spell that from those letters, but not quite. Can you say something reconciled? No. Lisa, you were very close to what Ken was saying, something reconciliation. No, not quite. So I'll give you that clue again from earlier. Alina guessed to the previous one, is it critical? Or it's not critical. So what is it? Right, I'll display the answer then. So that one was non-critical field. So remember, I keep mentioning this one, the non-critical fields, the fields like the text-based fields, the ones that you can amend, those fields within a transaction that you can amend without it making any difference. It will just let you edit those, see if it changes. It'll just update the original transaction. So well done if you nearly got that one. So if you're just about popping that in, as I mentioned it. Right, so let me know how you got on. How did you get on points wise? Did you get most of them right? Did you do better or worse than you thought? Or maybe you're expecting to perform really badly, but actually when you think of those questions, they are the types of questions we get asked all the time. So some of them, if you've gone through the sessions and you thought, right, I've really taken that in, or maybe you just knew it through practice. You've probably thought, well, some of these are quite straightforward, these questions, but we get asked, our support line, we get asked all of these questions all the time. They're very, very common. So let me know, just pop a comment in the questions panel. How did you get on? Sheena, you're right, there's no handout for this session. It was just the questions. So it would just be a list of those questions. The recording will be included on the I couldn't think of the word there. The recording will be included on your follow-up email. Apologies for the mistake on the slide there. But if you've got any final questions, pop them in there. Just to let you know as well, obviously we've got loads of webinars. We've got loads booked in currently all the way up to the end of February. There's a few sessions that you might click on when you choose a date. It will give you a March date as well, because we'll be repeating some of them throughout March. So you can book onto those ones as well. Just about at the end of the webinar. Just before I run through, some of you saying, right, I got most of them right. Ken, you were saying you maybe need to rerun the VAT recording. Obviously, those recordings are available if you've got the original emails. You'll be able to watch them from that, or you'll be able to watch them from the recordings page. Jackie, you did quite well. Most of them right. Same for you, Laura. 14 out of 16, pretty chuffed. Excellent. So you're obviously taking it in. Brilliant. Again, remember, those recordings are available if you feel you need a recap on anything, or if you missed any of the sessions, or even if you want to share them with your colleagues, watch out for those. Right, we'll end the webinar at that point. So many thanks for attending. If you can take a minute to complete the survey that should pop up as you leave, let us know what you thought about the quiz, the webinar series, any specific topics you'd like to see going forward, particularly sort of ideas for other webinar badge series. So topics you'd like to see covered, let us know, pop it on there. Your follow-up email will be with you in around about an hour's time. And obviously have a look at the registration page and get yourself registered for some of those upcoming sessions. Many thanks, and hopefully we'll see you again very soon.